We're here sitting down with Michael Andrew. He's kind enough to join us from training camp with USA Swimming in Croatia. Michael, just to start us off, just give us a lay of the land. How has camp been so far, and what's Croatia like?
Well, if anybody's been following, well, first, thanks for having me. If anybody's been following the athletes and myself's Instagram pages, it feels like we're on vacation. I mean, we thought Hawaii was pretty nice, but this is kind of next level because we don't have as many people, which is awesome. So yeah, super gorgeous setup. Rijeka is incredible. We're right on the water here in the Hilton, and then we've got Opatia, a little city, kind of nice little Riviera. Reminds me of Monaco, just a whole lot more affordable, which is fun for us swimmers. But yeah, and it was cool because I was obviously coming straight from Barcelona. So I've been here for well over a week before the rest of the team came in. And so I had a good lay of the land. I knew the pool really well, got to tour around the city and see some friends. And so I feel very at home. But camp's been amazing. It's gorgeous here. And the sun's finally back out because we had two kind of rainy days, the last two.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're used to racing, getting right back into it, racing a lot, but coming off of the last stop of Mare Nostrum, again, like you said, you stayed right in Croatia. So what was that transition period like of just coming off of racing and then knowing, all right, got a couple weeks to prep for Budapest, and then it's off to the races again?
Right. No, it's awesome. So I kind of saw a little bit of, I'm looking back kind of earlier in the year, there was a period of, I think it was when we did it was Orlando, Mexico, Chicago. It was like a series of racing. And by the end of it, I got a lot faster and I had this like kind of weird ebb and flow. And so we approached Mare Nostrum much the same way as like coming off of trials. We were pretty happy with the fitness, the speed, like we swam well. But we just wanted to basically maintain, race hard in Mare Nostrum, really break the body down, and then use this time here in Croatia, our camp, instead to like try and, I mean, you're not going to build base. You're not training hard here. This is like our USRPT taper. And so I've just been really focusing on a lot of speed, lots of recovery, working a ton with the physios, sleeping well, and then being able to try and take, because when you race so much, I think I was close to 45 or so races over what was 8 days. Because after Mare Nostrum, we went and raced in Slovenia last weekend as well in Kron. And that was thanks to like Peter Stevens. He was like, yo, like we're an hour and a half away, come race. And I was like, of course, like twist my arm.
Heck yeah.
And so it was good training for us. That was the idea. It was all the racing, race heavy. We don't need to focus too much on going crazy fast, break the body down, learn what we can from each race, and then take this next like 2 weeks now, about a week, to recover and get back to base. And my body's feeling great. It was really struggling the first half of this week, just feeling kind of tired and heavy in the water. But we did some suited efforts and broken 100 breaststroke this evening. And I can't tell you the time, but it will be public. I'm making a vlog from it, so hopefully that comes out soon. But it was very nice, very good for the mind.
That's always good. Yeah. When you told me in Barcelona when we spoke, and you were like, I think I swam like 18 times in 2 days at the first stop, I was like, that can't be right. And then I went through every single race that you did. You swam 18 times, and it was like, holy moly! Like, and this is what you do. This is your style of training, but it's still just, to me, pretty impressive and pretty cool to see, people like you just doing different things and seeing what works. So coming off of this huge block of training, what do you feel like were the takeaways?
Cool. So one, it's been interesting to see, and this too has come from like communicating. Like that's one thing I've loved about this camp is I feel like, and every team trip is great. Like I've got like my group, like my buddies, the guys like I get really tight with. But I feel like as a collective whole, this team's really, really tight, at least on the men's side, I've noticed. And so a lot of us have shared junior team trips or past senior team trips together. And so we're all really comfortable. And so it's been cool. Like just yesterday we sat for like 3 hours at breakfast, just like all of us well, mostly it was like our glorified Texas group. So it was all the Texas guys and me, the honorary Longhorn. And I don't know, it's just like we've been kind of bouncing and talking about like training and where we're at and mentally. And so it's like this really cool kind of healthy, natural debrief of the season and kind of leading up to Worlds. And it was cool looking back at like my preparation and what I was doing going into the Olympics versus what I'm doing now. And it looks really different, but mentally I have the same confidence in my ability, which is interesting. And a lot of that boils down to choice and deciding like, regardless of where I am and what I'm doing, I know I'm capable of this. And this was also in effect at trials because I swam so well there and was really happy and built a lot of confidence off of that. And so we're just continuing to ride off of that. And then obviously the times are showing in training, which is even nicer. Like, it doesn't always work out like that.
Yeah. So how has training been inside the pool at camp? Who are you swimming with? What coaches, what athletes? How's the work been for you?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously it's unfortunate that my dad wasn't able to be on staff. Actually, we didn't even want dad to be on staff. It was just if he could like stay and coach me on deck, especially because it wouldn't have really been an issue. I think that's going forward, like with athlete committees and stuff that are being started up, it'd be cool to see that things are put in place for home coaches to at least be at camp, even if it's at their own expense. Because my parents were already here. But regardless, they're in Terame Hill or something doing spas, hammam. My mom sent me a video of dad getting his like whole body waxed for the first time. And so we're just like very entertaining, looked painful, but it's like they're on vacation. So they're having a good time. And I'm professional enough that I know what I need. But Coach DeSorbo and I believe it's Coach Bill from Ohio State, like they've been helping me get splits. Even Coach Eddie got my splits tonight, which was really nice. Don't know how fast his fingers were, but I liked the times. And it was, so everybody's been amazing. Like it's Team USA, like we take care of each other. And so I do, feel well taken care of. And it's nice where we are in the seasons. Like I'm not really doing full sets anyway. And I've been doing a lot of my 100 pace or any sort of 200 pace work just on my own, and kind of feeling more effort and intensity. I don't need to know the times right now because all the ingraining has already been done. But I just like when I do like the suited efforts or the main type of stuff, I get a clock, and it's not too hard to run a clock, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's my long spiel of I'm good.
No, yeah. So when you're in training, and you mentioned the pace work, are you doing anything technical, or especially because you're swimming a lot of 50s, right? A lot of speed-based stuff. Are you doing anything to fine tune adjustments on like the technique side or like the start side? Those little things that aren't just kind of pacing and race technique.
So we've been looking at a lot of footage. So it's awesome. We've got Will Bretthauer here, he's more filming like cinematic stuff for social media, but I use a lot of that footage to watch back, as well as Matt Barbini. Matt helps us a ton with the GoPro. So we're getting a lot of underwater, above water footage. And I feel like I'm one of the athletes that ask for it most, just because I do enjoy watching it. And I also use it for the vlogs. But it's a good way to see, okay, this is what's happening. And the coaches have been giving me a lot of good feedback too. In specific aspects, like Coach Aiken noticed in 2 different sprints, I had a longer delay than others into the dolphin kick. And so it's something we're trying to figure out, or versus like a little head lift into the breakout, like making sure I keep those things down. So all things that kind of shift and change with fatigue. And so I've noticed as I've become fresher in the week, those little minor details have sharpened, which has been good. So all positives. And a lot of that too stems from what we had discovered in Barcelona through the races, just like minor details in places where I maybe lost tenths or seconds, some of them, but that was also partially due to fatigue. But yeah.
So at a training camp like this, where, obviously you guys have a lot of bonding happening, it is about Team USA, but it's kind of an odd thing where you get to the meet and you're obviously competing for Team USA, but in some situations you might also be competing for relay spots, right?
Yeah,
Um,
especially this time
and
around.
especially this time around. And so does that dynamic play out at all in the actual training camp for you, of just, being teammates with this person, maybe even doing sets with them, knowing, okay, this is who I may need to beat in this certain situation to get on
Yeah,
the relay that I want to get on?
it's a touch. I mean, it's a good question, and the answers could be touchy. Like you could take the hard route and be like, yeah, we really just don't hang out. We don't cross paths, and we let the coaches see who swims fastest and create their own opinions. And that was something I even thought tonight. It's like, okay, like I just split crazy fast. All the coaches watched it, and afterwards they're like, that was nuts. And I was like, okay, like internally, I'm like, this is really good for me. But at the end of the day, like I gotta swim fast at Worlds, and I recognize that.
Yeah.
I just hope it's one of those things that it's like the decision isn't made politically. I hope it's just made off of time, which, I'm never going to play martyr or whatever, but we just want the relays to be picked. What's the fastest possible opportunity? And I think everybody that's vying for a spot recognizes that and knows that that's the fairest way. And we're going to swim and we're going to battle to the death, and may the fastest man on the day win. But I've noticed I don't think there's any weird, I think everything's pretty good, but a lot of that's we're competitors at the end of the day. It's like, regardless of how buddy Caleb and I are, we still want to beat each other, or with me and Nick, we're both 58 low. We both could break that world record again. We both could be on the A relay. We are interchangeable on the day, but it's like one of us is going to have to get the spot and one of us is going to have to swim faster for it. And so that's sport. And it adds an element of excitement, and the viewers love to comment on it and say whatever the heck they want, and it creates drama. So that's what we signed up for.
Great answer.
Yeah.
So for you personally, I'm a little curious about if it's even on your mind, or, not, you're probably not looking to it yet, but anything specifically you might be doing to prep for that day. I think it's 6'7", 50 free, 100 fly double.
Honestly, is the 100 fly after the 50 free, or it's just before, isn't it? It's 30 minutes before or something like that.
I have the schedule right here.
It's the prelim semi.
Let's see here. So it's men's 50 free and then 100 fly. That's for the finals. For prelims, it's 100 fly, then 50 free.
Yeah, and then
semis, and for semis, it's 100 fly and then 50 free.
I remember that. Honestly, no, not mentally, because I've put myself in a lot of scenarios recently over the last couple of weeks of being able to deal with back-to-back races. Yes, they haven't been super fast, but I'm not going to have as heavy a load, I think, over 7 consecutive days, where I feel like I can manage it better, at least mentally. Physically is another thing. When we get there and we just face it head on. I am glad. I don't know if I think it's good the way that it works out is through semis, the 100 flies at the front, the 50 free, it's a race I can swim tight and still go fast enough. I can be under 22 and be, 21.8, 21.7, God willing, make top 8 with that. But even there, it's I know I can be faster than that. You just need enough adrenaline, enough willpower. The training's been there. It's, yeah. But I also too, I don't, like you said, I'm not at a point now where I'm thinking too much about it. All I know is 50 breaststrokes first. So that's where my mind's at. It's you get the first race out of the way, the rest of the meet happens.
Gotcha. Yeah, and that makes sense. 50 breasts first. All right. And so just from a human perspective, you've been in Europe for quite a while now. Obviously I spent some time there, and, it just kind of has some different feels. You've gotten to spend time with a lot of international swimmers. What do you feel like you've gained from that experience just over the last couple of weeks, being away from the States and being around a whole different set of athletes?
Oh man. I feel like I always gain a fresh sense of perspective when it comes to racing. A lot of it's too just like recognizing the blessing of being able to like do what I do. I think I was just talking with a friend up on my balcony. It's like I walk out on a balcony, I'm here looking over the Adriatic Sea, and it's just like just gorgeous. I'm here literally swimming in a pool for my country. Like at the end of the day, like none of this other garbage really matters. And so it's fun to like see that. And I've got so many great friends over here, like through Monaco, Cannes, Barcelona, like being able to go out with them, go get dinner, like experience the city, like see different cultures, meet new people, this is my first time in Croatia. It was my first time in Slovenia. So that's like 2 new pools, 2 new countries, lots of new relationships. So it's just, I don't know, I just feel like I've been going from blessing to blessing, and it gives me a lot of freedom going into worlds. I mean, I can just race, which is always, it's always kind of the same like answer, but it's true. And I feel it more and more now. And I think too, as a family unit, like we just launched the MA Swim Academy, and this has been something we've been working on for years. It's like a big monkey off my back, I feel, because I've so been wanting to get it out there. I've been wanting to do this, and our unit's been working really well. And our unit, just like our family basically, and things are great. Like, it's just too blessed to stress. Yeah.
Let's end it on that. Give me 60 seconds or 90 seconds or however long you want to give me on the MA Swim Academy and its launch.
Man, yeah. I feel like I've been force feeding people on social media on the MA Swim Academy. It's like everywhere I go, it's like, so what's the academy about? But I love it. So the MA Swim Academy is basically, our vision for it is to take everything we've discovered and learned over what's almost been a decade of being a professional swimmer, which blows my mind to think. And to put it in one central location for people to access. Obviously, it's a business too. So this helps me, it helps support my family and what we do and the dream. And it's kind of a new revenue source, new avenue for working with brands. But all encompassing, the goal is to take what I've learned, give it to people so that they can too become a champion. So it's right now what's in the app is our conditioning course, which covers the how, what, why of race-based training, creating training sets, the kind of physiological background of what happens to our body when we train the way we do, or the way I do. And then we have technique courses for fly back, breast free, pretty much all encompassing, and then starts, dives, turns. And we're going to continue to add stuff every month as often as possible. And so I think I've been kind of going back and forth in my head of what I want to work on right after Worlds. And I'm thinking it's going to be debrief of meets and learning how to kind of mentally process competition, good or bad, and how to analyze a race and take what may have been a negative and turn it into a positive. And so I'm basically just giving tools to athletes to get better. Because I've been very fortunate to learn from a lot of brilliant minds and to have experienced a lot of things the hard way. So I can hopefully make it a little easier for someone else coming through the ranks, and then use that platform as a way to motivate and create other fast swimmers. So yeah, it's been a really cool journey so far. And then outside of that, we've got one other project, and this is a little more of a pipeline thing, but we have a few teams that are starting to beta test this. And it's basically creating an MA Swim Academy, not seal of approval, but it's like, this is an MA Swim Academy affiliated type of team or club, or people can swim under the umbrella of MA Swim Academy. So when we race internationally or at a local sectionals or whatever, I can have a team. So it's not just me swimming. It's a home for a community of people that want to swim differently or train differently, or even just learn and add to their arsenal of training. So that was much longer than 60 seconds, but we're very excited for it. And yeah, no, I think it's going to be a great community, and we want to be able to grow with everybody.